This conference will now be recorded.
Thank you. I'm calling the meeting to order. Can we have the roll call, please, clerk?
Mayor Brummel,
Here.
Alderman Ashour,
Here.
Alderman Berry is absent, Alderman Davalos,
Here.
Alderman Goodman,
Here.
Alderman Krischel
He's
is
excused.
absent as well, Alderman Kruckenberg,
Here.
Alderman Lockett,
Here.
Alderman Widener.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. For those watching at home, our cameras are not working tonight, as I understand. So we will be broadcasting this audio only for this evening, and we apologize. We will try and get that fixed. Will those who are able stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now's the time that we set aside for public comments. If there is anyone present who has signed up for a public comment, no, okay, no one has. If there's anyone on the phone or who has called in online, I don't see them. Do we have any email comments? No, we don't. All right, we'll move on to officials and staff comments, starting with the mayor.
Thank you and good evening. Two things this evening. First of all, Assistant City Administrator White and myself spent 2 days in Springfield last week. The encouraging news from Springfield is the state is on an upward swing. The trajectory is very positive in terms of their fiscal situation. My understanding is that that huge backlog of debts that they've accumulated over the decades has been paid off. And I was told that they're currently paying their bills within 14 days of receiving the invoice. So that's pretty good news from the state of Illinois down in Springfield. The other news is that we probably won't get an increase in our LGDF, which we were lobbying heavily for. That's the bad news. The good news is they said they weren't going to take any more away. So I guess it sort of balances out, but leaves us hope for next year. So again, state of Illinois is doing much better than it has been doing for quite some time. The other thing that I would like to say is good news from Fermilab this morning. It will be open to bikers and hikers again. Be sure to go to their website and see what the requirements are to be in there. Certainly, one thing is you have to show identification, and it's such that you can't get in without that, some state-approved identification. And for some reason, they're not allowing dogs at this point. But if you want to ride your bike, or if you want to walk, or if you want to drive in and look at the bison, who are going to be calving soon, I believe, the opportunity is there again. So all of us have big smiles on our face that like to go in there. We've missed being in there, and we're very grateful for them doing that. A reminder that Fermilab is the only such institution nationwide that has so much freedom for the locals to come in. And we really appreciate that fact. They've been good neighbors to us, and we'll try to be good neighbors to them. So if you go in, behave yourself, don't litter, and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any aldermen who have comments this evening? Okay, I was going to make the announcement about Fermilab. The mayor and I were at the meeting on Thursday, and it was a little bit sad because it's Fermilab Director Nigel Lockyer's last meeting. He's going to be retiring, and they haven't named his replacement yet, but he will be missed. He's been an excellent leader and an excellent neighbor at Fermilab to us. So all of our best to him and his future endeavors. We'll just begin the business of the meeting now. Item 1 is the consideration of a request to dispose of surplus property, specifically police uniform items, and we'll ask Deputy Chief Jacobson to go.
Thank you very much. The city owns several uniform items, specifically shirts, pants, belts, jackets, that have either through wear and tear, normal wear and tear from the officers wearing them, or officers that have separated from the department that are no longer useful for us. We have reissued as many of the items as we can, specifically the leather goods, but most of the actual uniforms are specific to individual officers, and trying to get those reissued is a little bit tough at times. Specifically, what we're looking for here or talking about here are items that are no longer useful, and so we're looking to seek disposal in the sense of recycling through a company to recycle the fabric, or through the city's regular waste collection. There's a memo in the backup material from Deputy Chief Dawson explaining this, and Exhibit A regarding the items, and also a draft ordinance.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from anyone? Okay. Alderman Widener.
I just have, I guess, one assurance that needs to be made. All identification and patches and things like that, identification with the city and other official marks on the uniform that create the status of a police officer, those will all be removed, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All patches and markings are removed.
Okay, thank you. With that, I'll make a motion to recommend the City Council approve an ordinance authorizing the disposal of city-owned property through either recycling or use of the city's waste collection service.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Widener, second by Alderman Davalos. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Move on to item number 2, the consideration of a request to dispose of surplus city property utilizing propertyroom.com for unclaimed property. Deputy Chief.
This item is very similar to ones that we presented in the past. The surplus items are listed in the exhibit in the backup material. Usually consists of, and in this case it does, unclaimed property for disposal, awarded through the court through adjudication means, and it no longer serves a need for the police department or the city. Past practice has been through the auction, which has been propertyroom.com, and the transaction numbers are listed in the backup material. So we are requesting that these items be disposed of through propertyroom.com.
Thank you. Any questions? Alderman Widener.
I have no questions, and certainly we've used what's the name of the surplus city property auction site before, and with that, I would like to make a motion that the City Council approve an ordinance authorizing the disposal of city-owned property through an auction conducted by propertyroom.com.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Widener, second by Alderman Davalos. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, the consideration of a request to dispose of surplus unclaimed found property, specifically 18 bicycles, through donation to Working Bikes in conjunction with the Bike Rodeo. Deputy Chief.
Thank you. The police department currently holds 18 bicycles that were found property, which have been unclaimed for at least 6 months by the owner, and after the 6 months, then they become the city's property. And there is, like I said, have not been claimed, and there is no need or use that we can put them to. So we are requesting that the bikes be donated to Working Bikes, which would be in conjunction with the Bike Rodeo on May 21st, 2022. Working Bikes is an organization that rescues, refurbishes, and redistributes bicycles locally, globally, and we have worked with them in the past. Great organization. If there's any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
I do have a point of interest.
Yes, please, Deputy.
The bike rodeo has been changed to May 14th.
Ah. All right, so whoever makes the motion, please make note of that. Alderman Widener.
Yeah, we've certainly done this action before, and I might add that Working Bikes is also a nonprofit organization. I move to recommend the City Council approve an ordinance authorizing the disposal of city-owned property through donation to Working Bikes in conjunction with Warrenville Bike Rodeo on May 14th, 2022.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Widener, second by Alderman Davalos. Any further discussion? Are most of the bikes in working order?
Offhand, I don't know exactly, but the working bikes, the ones that are not in working order, they will refurbish them to get them in working order before redistributing.
Great. All right. We have a motion on the floor. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to item number 4. The consideration of an ordinance amending Title V, Chapter 3, Section 5-3-6, parking prohibited at specific locations or for illegal purposes, adding Cipla Drive, as well as Title V, Chapter 4, adding a new section, 5-4-6, public traffic prohibited on closed streets. Deputy Chief.
Thank you again. Cipla Drive is the access road behind the police department that connects Manning Avenue and Tracy Place. Cipla Drive was never really intended to serve as a standard roadway accommodating regular vehicle traffic. It was basically intended to be the driveway for the police department, the access to the rear parking lot of the police department, the entrance and exit. Over the past couple of years, we have seen a very large increase in citizens that have been parking and driving on Cipla Drive, which causes both a visual and physical safety issue when squad cars are exiting and entering the back parking lot. Due to the ongoing safety concerns this presents, seeking the code amendments to restrict the parking and regular flow of traffic on Cipla Drive. Should the amendments be approved, Public Works would be able to install a sign on each end of Cipla Drive, one on Manning, end of Manning, and one on near Tracy Place. Included with the backup material is a memo from myself and a draft ordinance from the city's attorney regarding this matter. It should be noted that the ordinance was drafted with a clause that gives the city administrator the authority to allow temporary parking during city events, which has been done in the past. I just also wanted to note that I've seen several instances over the past months where squad cars have been almost hit from vehicles turning either onto turning from Manning onto Cipla or from Tracy onto Cipla. And that's obviously very dangerous and one of the last things that we want to happen. So I'd be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Alderman Davalos.
Yeah, so you're talking about parking. I can't even imagine parking on Cipla, but you said people are parking. So do you think there's any reason to have no parking signs? I guess that would interfere with the city administrator perhaps letting people park at events. But, I mean, do you think those two signs at one end will stop people coming in to park when nobody's
I
looking?
do, and if a incident arose where temporary parking was allowed, then we would take measures to cover up the no parking signs.
Okay.
So there wasn't any confusion during those times.
But there will be some no parking signs on there?
That's
Not
what
just the two at the end? Okay.
Right, that's what we're requesting.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any other discussion or questions? Alderman Weidner.
I'll move to recommend the city council approve an ordinance amending Title V, Chapter 3, Section 5-3-6, parking prohibited at specific locations or for illegal purposes, and Title V, Chapter 4, public traffic prohibited on closed streets to include updated language.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Alderman Kruckenberg, were you raising your hand? No. Okay. Any other further discussion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Deputy Chief. We'll move on to item number 5, the consideration of a waiver of Class B video gaming and video gaming terminal license renewals for fiscal year '23. Finance Director Dahlstrom.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I do need to provide a little bit of an update. After this memo went out and before this meeting, we have now issued some video gaming terminal licenses, which happened late on Thursday and then again on Friday. We issued 6 of them to KV Shots, and we issued 3 of them for Warrenville Town Tap. We still have not received any applications for either Tom's Market or VFW Post 8081. I'm still recommending, however, that we do waive the renewal fee for this year. They would normally be these licenses, both the Class V liquor and the video gaming terminal licenses would all be expiring at the end of April. Considering that they've largely had no use in any of these facilities until last week, and as I mentioned, the other 2 we still don't have, it does not seem correct to me that we would then have them go ahead and do a complete renewal again, which is going to be in only a month. So I'm recommending at this point that we waive the renewal for this year, have all of the licenses expire at the end of April 2023, at which time would be their first time for renewal.
Because we don't want to charge people for things that they can't use.
They weren't able to use through no fault of their own, nor a fault of ours. The state was extremely slow in issuing the required documentation for them to be able to submit for our terminal licenses. So at this point, it does not seem fair to make them repay again when they paid already and weren't able to use it up until recently, at least for 2 of them. The other 2 we still don't know about.
Right, so it's not exactly a loss of revenue. I mean, if they were applying this week,
Correct.
it would effectively be the same thing. Yeah, okay. Any comments or questions? I would entertain a motion. Alderman Lockett.
I'd like to make a motion. City Council accepts staff recommendation and recommend the City Council approve the waiving of the April 2022 renewal fees for all Class V video gaming liquor licenses and video gaming terminal licenses in these 2 classifications only, issued during fiscal year 2022 with an expiration date of April 30th, 2022, and thereby extending the renewal deadline for these issued licenses to April 30th, 2023.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Lockett, second by Alderman Davalos. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving right along to item number 6, which is the fiscal year 2023 budget discussion, and I'll go to the city administrator.
Yes, as previously noted in other meetings, this item is on here, if there are more questions or any questions remaining on the fiscal 2023 budget, both the finance director and I are here to answer them. And just as a reminder to the public, the budget workshop was held in mid-March, 3 hours of time that we got to go through every item, or many of the items in the big picture on the budget, revenues and expenses. And we have had some questions from some aldermen subsequently that we've shared that information with everyone. So with that, looks like the finance director has a comment. I'll wait for questions.
Please go ahead, Finance
I
Director.
just want to provide an update. In the answers that we provided, Alderman Widener had asked about the private drainage assistance program. Our memo indicated that we had only budgeted $5,000 for the engineering. And after review, we did also budget the $35,000 for a potential project if one is to occur during the year, so that does need to be updated.
Thank you. And in that same memo, we discussed moving to the long-range financial planning work group a discussion of the road and bridge property taxes of various sorts, pursuant to a question about where the $37,000 number came from, and staff determining that there's no particular rationale for that anybody knows of.
Correct.
Okay, and we'll discuss that in the work group and bring the recommendation hopefully back to the council. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Alderman Davalos.
Yeah, just to confirm, the items for salary and part-time pay scales, that's all, there's enough extra money in there that's not going to create anything new if we pass that, right? I mean, that's already been considered in the planning that's been done for the administrative part of this budget.
If you're referring to the next two items on the agenda, correct, all that has already been built in at this point.
Okay, so there won't be, okay, thanks.
Yes, I think that's a good clarification. It is in the memo that the amounts we're going to discuss next are in the proposed budget, which hasn't been approved yet, but it's in the proposal. Okay, I think this is an informational only item. There's no need for a motion. We can move on to item number 7, which is the consideration of the fiscal year 2023 non-union market adjustment, and the Assistant City Administrator will tell us about that.
Thank you. Included in the packet was a memo from me for changes to the FY23 compensation as recommended by staff. There is a revised version of that memo on the dais for you this evening because there was a mistake in the date included under item number 2, the merit increases. As was just clarified, these items are proposed for fiscal year 23, which begins on May 1st, 2022. That date change is highlighted in the revised memo for you. So as part of the budget process, we consider pay increases for non-represented employees. The first half of this item is the market-based or cost of living increases, as they're usually referred to. For this piece, we evaluate several factors, including the CPIU as of December and what we have in place for our 3 union groups. As you may remember, 2 of the union groups currently are in contract negotiations, so we don't have those final figures for May 1 of 2022. There is an attachment to the memo that was originally provided that includes a comparison of what those rates look like from last year. CPIU as of December 2021 was 7.1%. That is a very high number. As you might recall from previous years, it's usually not that high, but inflation and other factors are contributing to those numbers being what they are. As for where that is now and where we are looking to go, staff is recommending a 4% market or cost of living increase for non-represented employees. That's the first half of the memo. The second half talks about merit increases. Traditionally, we have had the same merit matrix in place since 2010. That merit program is based on employee performance that's evaluated annually for non-represented staff. In 2010, those merit percentages were cut in half due to the Great Recession at that time and the financial impacts of that. So that unfortunately seems to have caused, along with a couple of pay freezes along the way, has caused some slow progression through the pay ranges for non-represented employees. So staff is recommending that an increase occur to those merit program percentages, not back to pre-2010 numbers, because at that time, I believe the highest percentage was 6. So we're looking at 4.5 as the top percentage. Again, there is an attachment to the memo that outlines what the merit program is that's being proposed. The goal of both of these changes is to remain competitive in attracting and retaining our skilled employees as we continue to face a very challenging employment market as it stands right now. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Yes, Alderman Widener.
This might be outside the agenda topic, and I don't know whether you're prepared to answer it or not, but I'm just curious as to whether or not the health benefits are equal all the way across the board between non-union and union employees, and the costs are the same no matter what category they're in?
Yes, we have the same, essentially the same program in place for all of our health benefits for non-represented and union employees. So we have one HMO and 2 PPO plans that everyone has a choice to select from.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
But just, again, clarification on top of clarification, not every single employee gets the health plan. We have part-time.
Correct. Full-time eligible, benefit eligible employees. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Alderman Davalos.
Thank you. So I see that a lot of the union contracts aren't totally to the end of the negotiations, and maybe you can't answer that. Is there any estimated, and maybe it wouldn't be right to answer that, but I know it's ongoing, but I'm just wondering if, and I guess we have the money, so maybe it's not a relevant question, but I'm just curious what you think.
I think it is a relevant question that we do normally compare to our union groups. I can't speak to what will be settled because we are still in negotiations with 2 of the 3, but what staff is recommending, we believe, is in line with what we'll ultimately end up doing with the union contracts.
So we probably won't need to change what we're voting on tonight. It's probably what we're voting on tonight, probably.
No, probably not.
Okay, good, thanks.
Yes, I mean, my comment would be that we do strive for equity between represented and non-represented employees in some of these critical things, but they're not always exactly in track with each other at the same time. Sometimes we'll have an increase in one year when there have to be cuts, and then the union employees might have increases locked in for a period of time over the contract that non-represented employees don't. So it isn't always exactly in lockstep. Sometimes there's catching up to do on one side or the other, and we always take that into consideration when we determine these factors.
Absolutely.
It looks to me like the changes in the proposed matrix, every change is either 1% or 1.5%, so it's very consistent. I think when you look at the employment market and the quality of employees that we expect and that our residents expect. You know, people who work here deserve to feel that they're being paid well for what they do. People who are in this community deserve to have top-level people who want to come and work here because we are an attractive place to work. I think those are important qualities. I think, 4% might sound high because it is a little higher than we have done in recent years. It's hard to say, oh, it's already paid for in the budget, because the difference here is almost entirely in the general fund, and the general fund is going to be predicted to have a deficit because of things like this, not just this, of course, one factor among many. So saying we can afford to do it is a little bit subjective. It depends on what we prioritize, and a budget is a statement of the city's priorities. And I think that it is a correct statement of this council's priorities to let our employees know that we prioritize them. So that's how I feel. Are there any other questions or comments? Alderman Widener.
Yes, I make a motion to recommend City Council approve a 4% market increase in the proposed merit increase matrix for non-represented employees as included in the fiscal year 2023 budget.
Second.
We have a motion by Alderman Widener, second by Alderman Davalos. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item number 8, consideration of changes to part-time pay. Assistant City Administrator White.
Thank you. As discussed in previous meetings, the Illinois Minimum Wage Act is requiring incremental annual increases until the minimum wage reaches $15 per hour on January 1st, 2025. Again, in keeping with the city's goals of attracting and retaining quality employees, staff is recommending that we adjust the hourly starting pay for these positions prior to that January 1, 2025 date. There is a memo in the packet from me with specific information about 2 positions, the AV tech and the crossing guard position. We have several part-time positions. You might recall the council previously took action to increase the seasonal, public works seasonal employee position, I believe about a year ago, and that was also on an annual increase. So these are the next 2 positions that need to be adjusted to remain competitive with that Illinois Minimum Wage Act change. Any questions?
Questions or comments? Alderman Lockett.
The only question, or I guess comment I would have, was going to be the type of talent or the type of people that are going to work for the $12 as the crossing guard. Considering their position is somewhat of a safety thing and getting the children across and finding somebody competent for that. Do you know how many crossing guards there are, positions total?
It's fluctuated slightly over the last couple of years. I want to say it's 8.
Yeah, I believe currently we have 8 on the roster. We just hired 2 last fall to bring us back up to that 8.
Do you find it hard to fill that position?
I think the way the market is right now, it has been a little difficult, just like many other positions. And last fall, it wasn't any different.
Do you feel that a lot of it has to do with the pay?
I think that would have a bearing on it, yeah, absolutely. It comes, salary comes into play with any position.
Right, because the demographic, I mean, the people that you're really looking for here, aren't necessarily looking to make a living, just a little bit of extra income, but they need to have that time in the morning, in the afternoon, and then be able to be out there at all types of weather and everything else. So it really tones it down to a certain, some people. Because my only feeling was, I understand we've got to get up to the 15, and there doesn't seem like they're working that many hours, 8 crossing guards. I think we talked 10 to 20 crossings, going across. A couple extra bucks here or there to maybe incentivize other people would just be probably more beneficial, in my opinion.
And I think I would add just a comment that the crossing guards that we have here in the city are very dedicated. They love the kids. They take it very personally. Our former city treasurer also worked as a crossing guard and talked about that quite a lot as one of the hats that he was very proud to wear for the city. I think the quality of our Warrenville crossing guards is very high. Alderman Davalos.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point, but like the dominoes that happen, so I see that the difference between these 2 positions here is we've moved it from $3 to $4. So it just seems like that trend means we're trying to differentiate, maybe based on skill level. One is say I don't. So we would probably have to, if we're going to change one, we're probably going to have to change another one, I'm thinking, to keep whatever goals that administration had in getting these these per hour wages up. So that would be my only thought in making a change, is once you make a change one place, to keep your goals, you may have to make another change. I don't know.
So as far as the difference between the two positions, I don't necessarily know that there's a direct correlation. I'm comfortable with where the AV Tech position is as recommended. But there is, that position requires nighttime hours, obviously consistently every Monday evening to participate in the meetings. And there is a more technical, I would say, skill level
Right.
required, or an aptitude to do that position. Certainly the crossing guards require attention to detail and their safety concerns, and they're out in inclement weather during school season. So there's different issues with both. Part-time positions in general are difficult, or have been difficult over the last few years to fill. Certainly we see that across all of the part-time positions. I would also add that we currently have crossing guards, obviously, in the positions. We have AV techs. Any adjustments to the starting level of pay will trigger an adjustment to the people that are currently in those positions, because obviously they will otherwise fall behind. And the Minimum Wage Act isn't just about increasing the starting pay, it's about making sure everybody that's already at a certain pay level reaches that $15 per hour by January 1st of 2025. So that's really the domino effect that creates, is if we end up increasing the crossing guard beyond the recommendation that staff has laid out here, there will be additional pay adjustments to current employees, which we'll be discussing at an upcoming meeting.
Thank you.
Finance Director Dahlstrand.
The other thing I think is important to add, the current AV techs don't actually get paid at that rate. It becomes an overtime rate for them because they're existing employees. So it's actually one and a half times that rate because they're doing it on overtime. We have not had just AV techs, at least not in the time I've been here, where that's their only job. So they work their normal day job, then they're getting this rate at time and a half for the hours they do for that. So at 15 an hour, they're not getting 15 an hour. They're getting, the 22 and a half an hour that you don't see here. So it's something I thought you should consider.
That's important context. Good to know. Alderman Widener, did I see your hand? No. Okay. Okay. Just checking. Any further discussion? I would entertain a motion.
I move that the City Council approve the fiscal year 2023 starting hourly rate for part-time positions effective May 1st, 2022, and direct staff to include the rate increases outlined in Assistant City Administrator White's March 18th, 2022 memo in the upcoming proposed budgets.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Kruckenberg, second by Alderman Davalos. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving to item number 9, the informational updates on administration, finance, and the police department fiscal year 2022 work plans and decision packages. That information is in the packet. Are there any questions? This is an informational only item, but it's an opportunity to ask questions about it if anyone has any. All right, if not, we will move on to miscellaneous. Deputy Chief, do you want to mention the commendations in the packet? Or some very nice letters?
Yes, thank you. The first one I'd like to discuss is Officer Ethan Nowakowski. You have the letter in your backup material. Long story short, a citizen called that needed help with a snow pile that was left near her driveway. this was in the Cantera Village subdivision. And so it was just a mistake where a pile was left in front of her driveway. She was it was on the weekend, trying to get in contact with Public Works, which ended up going through. The phone call went through the police department. Officer Nowakowski went to speak with this resident and to see how he could help her. And she explained the situation to him. He asked if she had a shovel, and she was a little perplexed by his request, but she did, and he proceeded to shovel her entire driveway and the sidewalk, which made her very happy, and also makes all of us happy too. That's what type of people that we have to help out the citizens of Warrenville. So, very good thing, very nice letter that was received.
Yes.
There was another letter that was sent to Chief Toronto regarding Officer Michael Law. This, just a brief summary, a resident was on their way home and kind of got turned around and was lost on their way back to their residence. And Officer Law was able to locate them and had them follow him back to their residence, which they were very thankful for. And again, we were thankful that he got these people home without anything bad happening. And the final one was a youngster with a drawing, and thanking all of us at the police department for protecting them. Very nice drawing.
Yes, wonderful to hear from our little Warrenvillians. That's great. All right, there's no further business on the agenda. I have need for one more motion, however.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Good night. Thank you.
This conference is no longer being recorded.